Welcome everyone to our deep dive today. We're going to be exploring some exciting potential changes to the SSI program.
Yeah.
Changes that could really bring a much-needed boost
Yes,
to
absolutely.
the lives of millions of seniors and people with disabilities.
This is a topic that I think holds a lot of promise, especially for those who rely on SSI
Right.
to make ends meet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for anyone who might be unfamiliar,
Sure.
SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income, and it's a federal program that provides that crucial financial support for
Right.
those who need it most. But let's be honest,
Yeah,
the current benefit amount often falls short
it does.
of what people need to cover, even basic expenses.
That's right. The intent behind SSI is to provide a safety net, a way to help people stay above the federal poverty line.
Right.
However, the reality is that the current maximum benefit often leaves people struggling to afford those essentials.
And that's where this potential game changer comes in.
Yes.
The SSI Restoration Act. This piece of legislation proposes to bridge that gap and bring real relief.
It does.
The beneficiaries, can you break down exactly how it would work?
Absolutely. At its core, the SSI Restoration Act aims to bring SSI benefits
Okay.
up to par with the federal poverty line.
Okay.
Right now, the maximum monthly benefit is $967,
Okay.
but the projected federal poverty line for 2025 is $1,304 a month.
Wow.
So that's a difference of $337 a month.
$337 every single month. That's not just a little extra cash.
Right.
That's a significant increase that can make a world of difference in people's lives.
It is, and to put that into perspective, that's over $4,000 more per year.
Wow.
Think about what that could mean for someone who's been struggling to afford groceries, medications, or even just a little bit of comfort in their lives.
It's almost hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Like suddenly having that extra breathing room in your budget, being able to cover those unexpected expenses without completely derailing
Right.
your finances.
Exactly. It's about providing a sense of security of knowing that you can handle life's little bumps in the road without falling into a financial crisis.
Right. And that peace of mind
Yeah.
is invaluable. It's about more than just dollars and cents.
Absolutely.
It's about dignity, independence, and the freedom to live a life with less worry
Right.
and more opportunity.
It is. And the exciting part is that this isn't just about a one-time boost.
Right.
The SSI Restoration Act would also ensure that benefits keep pace with any future increases.
So it's not a temporary Band-Aid.
It's not.
It's a long-term solution
Correct.
that recognizes the need for sustainable support. Now that we've laid out the core idea behind the act, let's dive into some of the other ways
Okay.
it could positively impact the lives of beneficiaries.
Sure, there are some really interesting aspects to explore.
Okay.
For instance, the act addresses the so-called marriage penalty, which can actually discourage couples from getting married
Really?
by reducing their combined benefits.
That sounds like a real catch-22.
It is.
You want to celebrate love and commitment, but then face a financial penalty for doing so. Tell me more about how the act aims to change that.
Well, under the current rules, if two people receiving SSI benefits decide to get married, their combined benefit is often reduced, sometimes significantly.
Wow.
And this can create a real dilemma for couples and even lead to financial hardship.
It almost feels like they're being punished for wanting to build a life together.
You're right, it creates an unnecessary barrier to marriage. But the SSI Restoration Act proposes a much fairer approach.
Okay.
It aims to eliminate the marriage penalty entirely, allowing couples to keep their full individual benefits,
That's amazing.
even after they tie the knot.
It's about time we stop penalizing love and commitment.
Absolutely.
What other positive changes does the act have in store?
Another important area it addresses is asset limits.
Okay.
Currently, SSI beneficiaries face strict limitations on how much they can save if their savings exceed a certain amount.
Oh, wow.
They risk losing their benefits.
Wait, so they're essentially being discouraged from saving for the future. That seems counterproductive.
You hit the nail on the head right now. The asset limit is set at a mere $2,000 for an individual or $3,000 for a couple. That's hardly enough to cover emergencies,
Right.
let alone plan for long-term needs.
It's like they're trapped in a system that doesn't allow for any kind of financial security or growth.
Exactly, and that's why the SSI Restoration Act proposes raising those asset limits substantially. This would give beneficiaries the freedom to build a financial cushion, say for things like a down payment on a car, or even just have peace of mind knowing they have some backup funds.
It's about empowering people to take control of their finances and plan for their future. Now, we've talked a lot about the potential impact on individuals, but let's zoom out a bit. What would these changes mean
Okay.
for the broader economy?
That's a great question, and it brings us to an important point. When we invest in the well-being of our most vulnerable citizens, it has ripple effects that benefit society as a whole.
It's like a rising tide lifts all boats.
Precisely, think about those increased SSI benefits going back into the economy. Beneficiaries will have more money to spend on goods and services. Right.
Supporting local businesses and creating jobs, it's a win-win situation.
It's like a chain reaction of positivity.
It is.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. The challenges facing SSI beneficiaries, the key provisions of the SSI Restoration Act, and the potential impact on both individuals and the economy as a whole. But there's so much more to explore.
There is. And its potential to positively impact the lives of so many.
I'm really excited to dig deeper into the specifics of how this act addresses those crucial areas we touched on earlier. Let's start with the marriage penalty. Can you paint a picture of how eliminating this penalty would actually play out in someone's life? Absolutely. Imagine a couple, let's call them Sarah and David, both receiving SSI benefits. They've been together for years, love each other deeply, and are finally ready to tie the knot. But under the current rules, getting married could mean a significant reduction in their combined benefits.
So they're faced with this impossible choice to follow their hearts or protect their financial well-being.
Exactly. It's a heartbreaking dilemma. They might even be forced to postpone or forego marriage altogether just to avoid that financial penalty.
That's simply not right. It goes against the very idea of what marriage is supposed to be, about building a life together, supporting each other, and sharing both the joys and challenges that come along the way.
You're absolutely right, and that's where the SSI Restoration Act steps in. By eliminating the marriage penalty, it removes that financial barrier, allowing Sarah and David to celebrate their love and commitment without worrying about losing crucial income.
So instead of facing a financial setback, they can actually combine their resources and build a stronger future together.
Precisely. They can pool their benefits, share expenses, and focus on creating a happy and fulfilling life together without that added stress of financial strain.
It's about allowing love to flourish without being overshadowed by financial worries. Now let's shift gears to the issue of asset limits. We talked about how the Act aims to raise those limits, but can you give us a concrete example of how that would make a difference in someone's life?
Let's consider another hypothetical example. Let's say there's a woman named Maria who relies on SSI. She's been incredibly frugal, saving every penny she can, dreaming of one day having enough to buy a reliable used car.
That sounds like a very relatable goal. Having reliable transportation can open up so many possibilities, getting to doctor's appointments, visiting family and friends, or even just having the freedom to explore new places.
Absolutely, but under the current asset limits, Maria faces a real obstacle. If her savings exceed $2,000, she risks losing her SSI benefits.
So she's stuck in a catch-22. She wants to save for a brighter future, but can't do so without jeopardizing her current financial security.
Exactly. It's a system that discourages self-sufficiency and keeps people trapped in a cycle of dependence.
It almost feels like a punishment for trying to improve your situation.
You're right. It creates a perverse incentive to spend down savings just to stay eligible for benefits, preventing people from building any kind of financial cushion.
It's heartbreaking to think about someone like Maria having to choose between basic needs and long-term goals. But how would the SSI Restoration Act change that situation?
Well, by raising the asset limit, the act would give Maria the breathing room she needs to save for her car without fearing a loss of benefits. She could finally work towards that dream without constantly looking over her shoulder, worried about exceeding that arbitrary limit.
It's about giving people the space and the freedom to pursue their aspirations, whether it's saving for a car, a down payment on a home, or even just having some emergency funds for unexpected expenses.
Exactly. It's about fostering a sense of hope and possibility, allowing people to set goals and work towards a brighter future without being penalized for their efforts.
It's about recognizing that everyone, regardless of their financial situation, deserves the chance to dream big and build a better life.
And it's not just about individual aspirations, it's about strengthening our communities as a whole. When people like Maria are able to achieve their goals, it creates a ripple effect of positivity.
Yeah. Maybe Maria's new car allows her to take a job with better pay, or maybe it enables her to volunteer in her community. It's like a chain reaction of opportunity.
It's about creating a virtuous cycle where individuals are empowered to thrive, and that in turn benefits society as a whole. Now let's shift gears and explore another fascinating aspect of the SSI Restoration Act.
We've talked about the marriage penalty and asset limits, but I feel like there's still so much more to uncover about the potential impact of the SSI Restoration Act.
Yeah,
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, each layer revealing new possibilities and insights.
you're exactly right. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of what these changes could mean for individuals, families, and communities
Right.
across the country.
It's almost like a domino effect.
Right.
One positive change
It is.
leading to another,
Uh-huh.
creating a ripple of positive outcome
Right.
that spreads far and wide.
Precisely. And one of the most exciting aspects of this act is its potential to spark innovation and entrepreneurship
Done.
among SSI beneficiaries.
That's an angle I hadn't even considered.
Interesting.
How would the act encourage those things?
Well, remember how we discussed the increased benefits
Right.
and the raising of asset limits? Those two factors combined create a much more favorable environment for individuals who might have dreams of starting their own businesses
Oh, okay.
or pursuing creative ventures.
I see what you mean. Suddenly they have more financial breathing room to invest in their ideas, take calculated risks, and pursue those passions that might have felt out of reach before.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to become not just beneficiaries of a program,
Right.
but active participants in the economy, contributing their talents and ideas to create something new and valuable.
It's like planting seeds of opportunity and watching them blossom into something amazing.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And imagine the ripple effects of that entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
New businesses create jobs, stimulate local economies, and bring fresh perspectives and innovations to the marketplace.
It's a win-win for everyone involved. And it all starts with providing that initial boost of support, that sense of security that allows people to dream bigger and take those leaps of faith.
Absolutely. It's about fostering an environment where everyone has the chance to reach their full potential, regardless of their background or circumstances.
And that brings us back to the heart of what we've been discussing. The power of hope, the SSI Restoration Act,
Right.
isn't just about numbers and statistics. It's about reigniting hope in the lives of millions of people.
It's about sending a message that we believe in their abilities, that we support their dreams, and that we're committed to creating a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
It's about recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every individual and providing the tools and resources they need to live a life filled with purpose and possibility.
You've captured it perfectly. It's about more than just financial assistance. It's about fostering a sense of belonging, of empowerment, of knowing that you have a place in this world and that your contributions are valued.